Full kit for field engineers. How to prep materials, tools, and information in construction. Okay, so this is my jam. Let me tell you a little story, like a recent story. Adam Bean, or Beanie, I believe he lives on the Sunshine Coast, halfway around the world, is an amazing influencer for both field and office. And we do live streams probably every other week, something like that. And he saw one of my videos about full kit, which is from Eliyahu Goldratt, which he's a big fan of as well. And he sent a video on our daily coaching chat. By the way, we have a daily coaching chat, and what that is, it's on WhatsApp, and people come in, we get past the spam screening so that we don't have investors trying to sell you stuff. But once you're in the chat, you can ask questions, you can share, it's great. We have 130 people. I want to get it up to 1,500 people by halfway through this year. That's a big goal, but I really want to get there. If you're ever like, I feel alone sometimes and I want more help, then hop on our coaching chat. Anyway, he was on there and he took a video and he's like, I'm gonna go mow my lawn. Now this is all in Australian, so it was much cooler words and in a better accent. But he's like, I've got my gloves, my earplugs, my safety glasses, my boots, I've got the trimmer and the lawnmower all filled up with fuel. He's got a full kit everywhere. And I was like, yes, this is the vision. And I want you to know that field engineers are a crucial part of this. There's 17 things. I only have right here 7. So the other 10 are for the rest of the project delivery team and the foreman. But 7 of the key items directly relate to a field engineer. And here's what I mean. I keep going back to this analogy of if you want to go build something, like let's say you want to build a wall, that we've got to be ready to build that wall. We can't just go out there willy-nilly and guess and try and work our way through it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Before we go do the work, we need full kit. And there are other things in a full kit in addition to these, like let's say primary planning, secondary planning, there's backup planning, there's the installation work package, there might be like the lift plan for the crane. There's like lots of other things that would go in an installation work package. But the idea is, and I want to draw this for us, how can we have a full kit before we start? And I'm just going to draw this with, stuff hanging out. What would be a full kit of parts before we go build it? That's the idea. Now, a field engineer will help with the materials, the tools, the information, the layout, the equipment, the permissions, and the space. Let me tell you how. But first, I want to bring you to a new idea that would be a base, and I'll draw and plan view to start. Let's say that I have a site, and let's say that we have space. I just went to a program in San Francisco with a massive project on it where they didn't have the space. I get that there are situations where we don't have the space unless you have an off-site staging or in a different lot or something. But let's imagine you have space. And what I want to see in the future where we can is where your office is set up and people come in, but there's also this queuing area. And I want to draw this for you. Let's say hypothetically that you have this open area and the truck, and I'm not great at drawing trucks. I embarrass myself when I do this. The truck comes in and you've got a little forklift that comes and grabs the materials off. And I think it would be best done with like a little elevated platform. And I know we can do this on these massive data centers, so we should start doing it. Where literally the stuff comes off and the trash goes right into the recycling and the waste dumpsters and like scrap metal dumpsters. And we don't have to haul it into the building and haul it out. It's unpackaged right there. And then it comes right up here and it's not put in bulk, but it's actually put on colored pallets or in bins or in some kind of package on this deck by zone so that it can come out to the building. So for instance, this kit, this is actually going really well. It would actually just be for that one concrete placement or that station or that zone or something like that. And what I love about this is, yes, field engineers are out in the field, but it's close enough to where literally, let's just zoom into one of these. Let's say that you had something here that needed to be kitted, and maybe that's some bulk material. And then you have your bin with your consumables, right? And then let's say that you have actually what we typically use in construction is a crew board. So all of the information right here ready. Now, if you're gonna go mass deliver reinforcing or large segments of duct or curtain wall, you're not gonna pull them through the queuing area. This is only the things that need to be kitted. And that would be coordinated in the afternoon foreman huddle the day before. But let's say that you're on this platform and the field engineer or the office engineer or the project engineer could go actually inspect this, go actually inspect the screws and the fasteners, and then go make sure that the installation work package is put on the crew board with the look ahead, with the weekly work plan, with the day plan information, and that literally this was all ready. And then let's say that there was an inventory of flags on the ground, and on these flags it had a little sign that said this is ready for forklift pickup, and the forklift, when it comes back, oh, this is ready to go, I'll just go ahead and bring this directly to the zone or the station or that component or whatever you're working on. This is what I think we should be getting to in the future. Like these massive data centers, we have no business just bringing stuff to the location. Everything should be coming in from a queuing area. Everything. And if we have the space, everything should be coming in through a queuing area. Hospitals, everything should be coming in through a queuing area. There's very few situations where I wouldn't want this to happen. And if you don't have space, then I would highly recommend that you do it through the trade partner offices for their work, and that a logistics person is designated to coordinate it. But a field engineer will make sure that they're participating in a material inspection. And if you think this is a little deal, let me tell you a story. One time we were on, I think it's called HCI now, but it was OSHPD in California for medical facilities or for hospitals. And they were using the wrong fastener and I didn't catch it. And I was a field engineer. It was all masonry walls and then a complete wood structure. It was all custom. Everything had to be ripped out. And I'm telling you, material inspections are a thing. So the field engineer would be able to check the materials. The foreman would make sure that the right tools are there, but the field engineer's participation in that is to make sure that the right quality tools are there. I'm just thinking specifically about, like, if you're doing reinforcing, you have the pull testing equipment. If you're doing a shotcrete, we have the right test panels. There's a lot of different tools for different assemblies that aren't just the foreman's to coordinate. The information. Do we have the installation work package that we put inside the crew board? And do we have the lift drawing and a single visual checklist from the pre-con meeting so they have all the information? They don't have to run around for it. Layout. Does the trade partner have the layout, grid lines, and if it's not here on the intersection, a benchmark showing the elevation for that work so they can go ahead and build that structure? So layout is crucial from a field engineering standpoint. The equipment, what does a field engineer have to do with that? If you also had this like yard and then you also had an equipment pass through, this is where you could check to make sure that it had backup alarms, fire extinguisher, current inspections, it was safe, had a current seatbelt, and then it gets through the queuing area and it goes out on site. Permissions, this means that we have current permits. This means that the authority having jurisdiction is enabling the work. This means the inspector, it knows that the work is coming up. And then the space, field engineers have a lot to do with that. Oh, this is so good. Please like the video and please subscribe. We want you here because you're awesome. Okay, so it's not just the work when it comes to space, but it's also where you're going to lay down materials. Okay, and it's also where your workers are going to be working, and it's also the access over to the area. So we have to have enough space for the crew to go get to where they're going. And my point with this video is that this is how we make sure that we're ready full kit. And it's definitely a part of the field engineer's job to do it. And if a super doesn't have field engineers, then there's no way you're going to get full kit before trade starts. So I'm going to turn this into a blog post. It will be turned into the book, Elevating Construction Field Engineers. I'll also give you this checklist in a beautiful formatted poster. I hope you put it up on your conference room wall. And I also hope you love this video because I put a lot of passion into it on the go.